All right, guys, here we go. We are in session number 9 of Fool's Landing here on Dice Illusions. We're playing Advanced Dungeons and Dragons 2nd Edition. I'm going to be the Dungeon Master in this evening. I'm Jamie, and I'm joined tonight by 3 heroes that I'll have introduce yourselves from left to right on my screen, starting with Adam. Good evening.
I'm great. Good evening. I'm Adam playing Bartholomew. He is a cleric of Lyra, the Lady of the Mists, and I believe what am I third level right now.
Yes, I think that's right. Yeah, awesome. Welcome. Next on screen is we don't have his video. At least I don't have his video right now, but I assure you he's here. Chris, welcome.
Yeah, I am here. Chris, I'm playing Kurza, an English wizard, Elvish wizard. Elvish wizard, yeah, that's it. Only second level, but almost there. And
And now I expect an English accent out of Kurza. I'm gonna expect to have a really
no, I
thick
will
English
only
accent.
give you a horrible French accent.
That wasn't bad at all.
No, but I know the French.
Well, welcome. We're glad to
I
have
think in
you.
French.
Even whether you're French, English, whatever it might be, Elven in this case. Welcome.
Are you
Good to
in
have.
Canada?
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Last but not least is Brian.
Yeah, howdy again. It's Brian. Happy to be back. Thanks for having me. This is the 10th time we've been together.
Yeah, you cut out a little bit there. Are you still with us?
Oh,
I lost his video too.
was he mentioning having internet
No.
issues tonight too? Earlier, that's what I saw
Oh, did he?
in
I
Discord mentioning that. But
Yeah, we just got the exclamation point and he dropped maybe.
yeah, we'll see if he's able to jump back in. Let me mark.
I don't know if 2 gives us a quorum or not.
Let's see if he's. It's funny. He is
I
still
still
in
see him
Discord.
on Discord, yeah.
All right. Let's see. So not only is Roll20 acting up, but now we've got internet on the West Coast acting up.
yeah,
All right. Well, let me just give him another minute and see if he's gonna reconnect to Roll20.
We dropped from Discord too now.
Okay, now, yeah, he must have actually had a true outage. So you guys are both all caught up on your levels. Let me switch over to this other screen. I'll try to
yeah. Just
verify this.
I was just gonna go through off your chart and make sure my sheet's updated because I think I'm behind.
Yeah, if you check the XP awards, you should be. You're at 4001 is your total right now.
For some reason, oh, wait a minute, there it is. Yeah, I'm just, I'm at 4,000, so I'm less than 900 from the 3rd level. But that's probably 2 sessions. Oh, when I go up in level, do I get to pick some new spells?
You will get to train for new spell levels. You'll have to train to get second level spells.
Not the
But the first level
not more
spells,
first levels
no,
at
you can
second.
no, you can continue to cast, extra first level spells that would be allowed to you, but in order to learn a new level of spells, you have to have training.
How about to learn a new first level spell?
Yeah, you'd have to get training for that.
Okay.
For anything that's not already in your spell book, you'd have to find another mage who has the spell, and then likely pay them for some training so that you can
Ah,
copy it into your own spell book and have it permanently. And then there's a roll we'll make to make sure that you copy it accurately and that you can actually learn the spell.
right.
So that's always fun. So yeah, that'll be something that you would be interested in, I imagine, when you land in port. At some point,
Yeah.
finding a mentor mage maybe.
Were you doing something similar for clerical magic as well?
Yeah. So for you, again, you can cast your first level spells and you can cast more of them as you level up. But in
Yep.
order to cast a spell of a new level, you'll have to learn that or be trained on that by a priest or cleric of an equal or higher level that has a spell you want to learn. You don't have to, I don't believe, make any real roll to see if you learn it though. Yours is just going to be more about having seen it once. After that you'll be able to cast it. And you have like a different way of, you'll have like a sphere of spells that will all become available to you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Instead of
I
just single
think.
spells.
See, I wrote down. It's actually a pretty limited spell list. I picked a real doozy of a specialty priest, I think, but there we go.
Many apologies if you can hear me now. We
Yeah,
Can.
Yep.
welcome back. No
uh,
problem.
the internet just died.
Yeah, that's okay. You warned us. You warned us. We were
So, I mean, if I go in and out, that's what's going on. It's not me.
No worries.
It's my internet provider on a hot summer afternoon.
We were doing some level up conversation, and I think
Wow.
you are the one that actually leveled up last session. You're now level 3, right? So my tracking shows you have 4,188 XP and that you're 3rd level now.
Look at that. How can a little human female druid last that long?
She made it. She's still out at sea, which is like, not her forte necessarily, but she's hanging in there, man. She's doing great.
I think
And
she'd do well as like with those sailor skills I was posting about whenever I was doing it.
yeah, she has good wisdom, and wisdom is usually the skill that most of like the seaman skills are weighed against. So
Seamanship.
seamanship.
There was a question that I was asking. I didn't get an answer from this last week. What was that? About you took it as me asking about wanting to multi-class or whatever, which I didn't. I was just asking. I mean, we're all kind of familiar with what each of us do now. I mean, I've seen, to use the example, Ronnie look around for stuff and he finds things and he listens. I mean, I kind of understand that that's what he's up to, as an example, because we've been together for a while now, right?
Yeah, like you would by now know Ronnie's a rogue, for sure, or you would have him defined that way in your head. You would know what he's capable of. Yeah.
Got
Likewise,
it.
he's seen you cast. You haven't gone to any means necessarily to hide your casting, so everyone would have seen each other's skill set. Yep.
Oh yeah, believe me, when I'm casting, I'm loud.
Well, you actually can go ahead and roll hit die for level 3.
Sure,
So if you want to roll a 2d8.
I do. I absolutely do. Let's do this thing.
It could be helpful.
Everybody's talking about my ding-a-ling.
You need 8-8 is what you need.
Well, I need 1 8.
Johnny be good and or Chuck Berry. I meant you're Chuck Berry.
Everybody sing /R2D8. Come on, 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 come on.
No
Oh,
way!
that is
Oh
like the
man!
best
Oh.
roll ever. Look at that.
Oh my
Look at that.
Take an astonishing fortune and make that go away.
Oh man! So that yeah, you have 3 astonishing fortune tonight. There are 3 of you. They're pretty important, and you can absolutely use one here if you guys want to.
That
At
you
least
hadn't
that
used one last week, so
at least for your maximum, you might want to consider it because that is matters a lot
Can't
more.
do any worse.
So one astonishing fortune will get you 1 more die roll, not 2. So consider the fact that if you're just gonna spend 1, it's gonna be to up your max, and you'll still just get 1 temporary.
I think we just need to spend a moment here and just acknowledge the beauty of roll 20 and what it does to me sometimes. I think my last 2 attack rolls were 1s as well.
It's fantastic stuff, isn't it? Let me refresh this.
Come on, roll 20. You can't give me 3 1s. You? I mean, seriously?
Oh, it did. Oh, it did.
oh my
Oh, it
god.
did. Wow.
That's hilarious.
Well,
Oh
That
my.
literally is the best ever.
that is
And
brutal. That is brutal. Hey, you could spend another one. You have 2 more.
my character really doesn't get in the middle of fights. But I mean, what are the odds of 4 1s in a row? I mean, I would love to do it just to see if I can roll another 1.
What do you guys think? You good with him spending another fortune for this?
Oh yeah.
Might as well.
All right, you've got a consensus, Brian. Now it's up to roll 20.
Jeez, I'm gonna use the dice thing over here. Let's see, couldn't be any worse. Okay, that's a lot better.
All
All right,
right.
thanks,
There
guys.
you
We
go.
got 1
Yeah.
fortune left.
That was pretty big. And probably wise. So
Yeah.
Could
what's
you
your
imagine 4 1s in a row? I mean, what would the odds of that be on an 8-sided dice? I mean, that would just be almost unbelievable.
it's pretty unlikely, but I could see it in this system. It seems to happen quite a bit. But good for
Right.
you that you did that because I think what's your max now? What's your overall max?
I don't know. Where are my things? Is that the tracker? So I'm at 21,
21. Okay.
and I have 7 now. So way better than what it was.
Cool. And yeah, with some rest, that will have paid off that you spent the fortune for it. All right.
The
So
the thing that you do where you let us roll 2 dice is pretty cool because you kind of have a much better chance of getting better hit points than just rolling 1, right?
yeah, you would think it would be forgiving, but you were just brutalized by it, which is unbelievable. That yeah,
Well, to be honest, I rolled a 4 the first time, and I got an 8 the next time, and a 1 this time. So I would have been right in the middle, right in the average.
yeah,
So it wouldn't have been like right or wrong. It's just
Oh, it's a 2,500 to 1 odds of
yeah.
getting 4 1s.
Oh,
really.
that's
Nearly.
not easy, not easy to do. Well, so I think you're good then on basically that's all you really get at this point. Your Thaco may or may not change. I don't know. You'll need to. Your sheet will reflect that with your level change. But we were just talking about training for spells, and for the priests, for you and Bart, you all will need to train with someone who's an equal or higher level than you to learn your sphere of spells for the next level. So whatever spell level you had learned here as you're leveling up, you'll have to train for that in a similar way to the wizard, except the wizard has to roll to see if they can learn each and every spell. There's a chance that they may not be able to learn a particular spell for whatever reason,
Mm-hmm.
so it's kind of a lot more hit and miss for the wizard. Um,
Yeah, I think finding a druid to train me is going to be tougher than finding a wizard.
Could be. Depends. Yeah, there's a lot of unknowns when it comes to finding druids, that's for sure. Well, I'll cut out of here. Again, I think, just to give some context about where things are, it's been a couple of days since you guys were dropped off. If we go to the calendar, back on the 5th and 6th, you were on the Osprey Herald, and you were sent to follow the Sahagin to their lair. You spent several days in their lair, tracking them, fighting them, finding dwarves, all kinds of things, and then you ultimately reached a point where you went back to rendezvous with them near the morning of, or late morning of the 9th. So that's kind of where we're at from a timeline perspective. And as far as location is concerned, if we kind of look at, I've got all these maps, I might as well show them. If we look at the hugeness of Faerun, you guys are pretty much right in the heart of it, right in the center, in the inner sea, and if we switch to the other map that shows the inner sea, you can see more clearly that they're near the Isle of Presper. So that's where we're still at. That's where the scene left off last time. Does anyone want to take a crack at just summarizing things of where we left off? I'll switch the map if that helps. This is, I believe, the map that we left off on.
I think so. Because I think we saw the Medusa, and she seemed to be coming up the stairs. So rather than wait for her, we ran for it. And did we encounter any opposition on the way out? I think we did.
Yeah, there were 3 or 4 Sahagin that you guys encountered on your way back out, or I want to say 2 or 3. And I believe that you guys dispatched of them pretty quickly.
It was mostly after we left the I don't know what you want to call it, the dungeon portion.
Yeah.
That was locked off.
So
we killed off a few guards, as it were.
yeah, let me
Got on our little rowboat and ran for it.
Yeah, this was the map. Here we go. This is the one I should have been on. This, yeah, shows exactly what you're saying. You had your rowboat. You'd killed a couple Sahagin here on the beach. You got yourself to your boat. You got boarded on the boat. You have 2 dwarven pirates with you that you've rescued from the Sahagin lair. Jaitu and Ursake, they've been with you for a couple sessions now, at least in terms of timeline, a full day. They've been following around, with you all. And
Probably waited too long to take the big boat.
yeah, that was sort of what had happened. That as you were getting yourselves offshore and you had decided to go that route, you did notice that the big boat was being boarded, or was already occupied by Sahagin, and that the high tide enabled them to start to follow you out through the rockiness. Because of how rocky it is, you guys were sort of going in more of a straight line towards your destination, and they were sailing around, trying to avoid those obstacles, trying to track you guys. But then ultimately, you did meet up with your ship. That was where we were here. You had recognized just a few things, to kind of set back to this scene. You had rowed up next to the boat. When you looked up, you saw, crewmen. None of them were necessarily familiar to you. The boat also looked a little different. It has a different name. I'll give you guys the name of this boat. It's Besmra's Bane, and that's emblazoned on the side. So that would have been something you would have seen as you came up to the boat. You would have known it wasn't the Osprey Herald, but you did see purple banners that you recognized to be familiar with the nation of Cormyr and Kingdom of Cormyr, and that would have been familiar to you from earlier when you were initially sent on this whole journey by Cadison, who wanted you to investigate what was going on in the Sahagin lair, what they were interested in, and all of having all these books. And then at the same time, you had shared with him the blue tattoos, essentially on your forearms. He said that they would send a ship back for you, and that he would help you figure out what the curse was that has been placed upon you, and try to help remove it. So as you reached the ship, they were able to stow your row boat on the back, pulling it up, and kind of set sail and pull you aboard onto the main deck. What you notice on the main deck is that there are some soldiers here in purple. They appear to be dressed in what looks to be really more of a formal knight outfit that is emblazoned with the purple dragon of Cormyr. So to you, they look like real sort of true loyal soldiers to Cormyr. And so one part of you feels, I think, safe that they're there, but at the other part of you isn't sure why they're there. Because it's not necessarily every day that you would probably see people dressed as knights on a boat. They're not really dressed like they're set to be at sea necessarily, so that's noticeable. The other familiar face on the deck would be Winnick. Captain Winnick was steering the ship. He's sort of the one that maneuvered them into position to pull you aboard. And as they pulled you up, and they pull you up onto the deck, you guys are sort of just kind of getting acquainted with who's there on the deck. You see several crewmates also as deckhands up there. And at that moment, you see a figure who's also wearing a purple robe. He's standing next to Winnick. I've got him marked. He's here. And he steps up to Winnick, and he says, "Captain Winnick, you are relieved of your command. You may leave the top deck." And you guys sense right away that Winnick is a little bit shocked by the order, and he looks at him. And he says, "What are you doing? I'm the only one that's going to get us out of this." And he says, "Winnick, do as you are told." And so he starts to reluctantly be walked off of the command deck, down these steps, past you guys, and he's kind of walking over the deck. While that's happening, in the distance, you guys can see the Sahagin ship coming in your direction to the south. I'm not sure what your vision is. Let me double check what you guys can and can't see. Yeah,
It was daylight.
yeah, I need to turn that back on. I don't know why it's off. There we go. Now you should be able to see the full distance. So all the way down here, you can see the ship is following, getting closer. You guys have boarded, and this is kind of unfolded in the minutes or so as you first boarded. As Winnick walks by you all,
Is he armed?
Winnick?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he's got like a short sword at his side.
Okay.
So he's not like
What
they
are
haven't
these-
disarmed him.
What are the other guards seemingly armed with
Um,
and armored?
most of them are wearing what looks like to be a chainmail. And for armor, they also have long swords, and all of them have crossbows, light crossbows. So, as far as other, people on the deck, the deckhands, they've got like daggers that you can see on them. The guy who ordered Winnick out, you don't see any weapons necessarily on him, but he's sort of now standing at the rear of the ship now, controlling the wheel.
Do you have any obvious, I'll say, holy symbols or anything else around his neck?
Give me, wow. I think you might be able to, scan him if you
Perception?
were at his level. If you wanted to try to, scan him from where you're at, might be a little more difficult, but yeah, it's sort of an observation check, and I don't know what proficiency, if there is one that you might use for that.
There's a proficiency for it, actually.
Yeah.
Are we
We always had
moving
to.
around the boat yet, DM Jamie?
Yeah, you guys are all on the boat. Yeah, you guys have all been pulled onto the top deck, so you're standing.
My character's gonna run up onto the back
Need to drop him. There we go.
and start to take a look at the Sahagin. I barely know anything that's happening other than I'm paying attention to the Sahagin ship as I run up here.
All right. All right.
Obviously, I
So
noticed that Winnick has been relieved of duty, but I didn't really have anything nice to say to him anyway.
yeah. So all right. So yeah, you can get a better vantage point and walk up there and look out and see the Sahagin's ship. A few hundred yards south of you guys. And you can see it a lot more clearly from up there on the control deck, if you will. So, Winnick is going to be, kind of walking by you all, and he's, kind of looking at you all, just curious, because he hasn't seen you, but he's kind of looking you over, and he said, "We'll talk later. We'll talk later." And he follows. He lets one of these guards walks off deck with Winnick. They walk down. The other guard stays up on deck and is just sort of up here watching things.
Well, I think I will go past, go up here on the deck as well to get a closer look in passing of our new captain.
All right. So if you want to do I think there's going to be some check that you would be able to kind of look and see if you can observe it. So if you just want to do like just a regular wisdom check, we'll see if you observe anything, if he's showing anything different. Yeah, so you get a good look at him. You can see that he looks like he's dressed in a similar way to the way that Caddison was dressed, in the sense that he also has the purple dragon logo on some of his armor and on some of his clothing, but it's almost stitched in a way where it's very subtle. It's not bright and it's not so noticeable like when you look at the knights and they're sort of wearing this
Yeah.
very deep purple. His is sort of a very dark purple, almost black looking colored clothing. And to you, it looks familiar, as if, similar to what you'd seen Caddison wearing.
What kind of armor is he wearing?
It's a leather armor that it looks like to you.
Okay.
Yep. So,
Is
and you
there,
don't notice any weapons either, because I know you were looking earlier for weapons, but you don't really notice anything on him that looks like a weapon. Go ahead, Bart.
Bart might look around and ask the nearest guard to him if he'll respond, and mention that we had left some things in care of Winnick when we were earlier dropped off. I'm curious if those items are perhaps aboard this vessel.
Hmm. I don't think Winnick brought a whole lot with him, other than his own locker. You,
Hmm.
you might need to ask him the whereabouts of your things.
I think I'll ask. Might I go down below and have a conversation with him about that?
Hmm. Who are you gonna ask?
Whichever guard would be nearest to Bart.
And what were you gonna ask him again? Sorry.
Uh, there seems to be a bit of tension on the ship. I was just going to ask him if there's any issue with me going below to ask Winnick about the whereabouts of our things.
So if I think so, there's a crewman right next to you.
Oh, okay.
And you could ask him that.
Sure.
And so the crewman, I think, would give you an indication like, uh, hey man, I don't know, what is, acceptable necessarily, but you, you may not have a long time to see Winnick. I don't think he's in their good graces.
Hmm.
And
I
he's
might.
sort of working, not nervously, but definitely kind of keeping an eye over his shoulder to make sure that he's not doing anything to draw the ire of the purple dragons.
Yeah. And everybody's obviously kind of focused on the oncoming Sahagin ship, I assume. Um,
Prepping for
so
combat?
Well, you guys sort of have an action here before
yeah,
they're even close enough for anything to happen. I wanted to give you guys a chance to position yourselves or inspect anything that you would like. If you
yeah.
want to talk to people, you've got
Bart's
a
kind
few
of
minutes.
tired of facing foes wearing nothing but his robes and is kind of looking around, wondering if there's some place he can find a scrap of armor to squeeze into someplace.
Yeah.
It's really what he's after. So
I think you would know that there was sort of on the deck below where the crew stayed, that there was sort of a area where they had general equipment that even there might be some light arms there, some light armor there, things that could be used maybe in certain situations. Not a plethora, not like an armory
mhm,
worth of stuff, but several things that you remembered seeing below deck on your last journey. Of course, it was a different ship, but
yeah,
um, uh, that I guess that would be something that might register in your mind that the crew on the crew deck you might be able to come about something like that.
sure. So yeah, I might head below and look and see what I can find with a quick cursory glance around,
All right.
looking specifically for like a suit of chainmail should be, I would think, pretty easy to pull on, like a hauberk or something, and if there's a spare mace or something lying around, might be a little more
Yeah.
effective than what I've been standing in front of the fishmen with up to this point.
All right. Let's hop over real quick and you'll go under deck. You'll kind of follow Winnick. You're like a few feet behind them. Um, and when you get to that second deck and look around, the layout's very similar to what you remembered in the other ship. You do see the crew quarters here in a similar location. You see some crew members also kind of in the same areas that you'd remembered seeing them in the other ship. And you notice a couple things. First of all, when you get down here, there's a couple other figures on the floor that don't look like crewmen. They're kind of standing towards the back here, and you see the purple dragons that the one that was escorting Winnick has taken Winnick to this back room, from what you could tell, and put him in that back room. So you definitely would be able to observe all of that. And then as you scan around, yeah, you do see some similar equipment laying around up in this area towards the front of the ship where you remembered seeing it in the other ship. It looks like different stuff, not exactly what you remembered, but you do see a couple of things laying around. There is a set of studded leather that is hanging there. It's not in particularly great condition, but it is studded leather. What do you think? Is it muted?
Yes, it was muted.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
No problem.
Yes, no, Bart. I think he'll go over there and kind of, look around, see if anybody objects to him making a motion to take it down and start to don the armor, just in case we end up in another fight.
Yeah, so like I guess when you walk up to that area, the crewmen, noticing you're not a crewman, notice what you're looking at, of course, and they're kind of like looking at you, and they're not sure about you. So what, as you're kind of eyeballing the stuff, and they're eyeballing you, what's your statement, or what are you gonna do to kind of just be able to walk off with this?
I just kind of look around at him and mention it looks like we might be in for another scrap. I could sure use a touch more armor than these robes I'm wearing. If this isn't going to any use at the moment, guys.
All right, do a charisma check.
All right. Ooh, that's okay.
Oh, okay, you passed it.
Not
Yeah,
a great
so
trait of mine, but
yeah, one of the guys looks at you and looks like somewhat concerned, a little bit concerned about this oncoming threat, and you see, you definitely notice that got their attention a little bit. But as far as like the armor is concerned, one of them looks at you and says, "You could have it for 10 gold, mate."
10 gold he wants for it, huh? I'm gonna tell him I don't intend to keep it, and I'm not gonna pay out 10 gold for it at the moment.
Well, you could rent it for 5.
It sounds like even a worse deal. Well then, so we may be at an impasse. I guess I'll start heading back up the stairs.
All right, they kind of laugh a little bit as you walk away from the offer. I guess just from, you wouldn't really probably even know what armor is worth to have a sense of,
Yeah.
of it either. So, but yeah, they didn't seem too inclined to help you with equipping you anyway. So that's certainly noticeable that they've got a little bit of an attitude, and maybe you can sense too that they're a little bit annoyed by the presence of the knights, right? And so they may hold that against you. They may think that you're part of the reason why there's knights aboard their ship. So you definitely get that sense as you're kind of dealing with their attitude. So you return to the top deck.
Interesting. Yep. Yeah.
All right. Let me move you back up here, guys, who have been on the top deck here for a minute. Get you a chance to interact if there's anything you wanted to do. You see Bart, kind of come and go. Is this not the right map? Sorry,
Yeah.
that's not the right map. This is it. There we go.
And I might eventually cozy up with Begin and Kurza to let them know that I saw Winnick being taken into the back room down below.
Yeah, and so the other thing that sort of happens as you come back up here is that you notice that one of the other purple dragon who was walking down here before it is starting to escort the dwarves under deck as well. noticing that they're kind of not in great shape, so he starts taking them down off the top deck. Ursake
Probably a
and
good
Jatu.
idea.
So one more of the guards disappears off the deck for the moment. And so you guys now, Kurza and Lee, anything else you wanted to do or say, or anything you wanted to kind of check on in that time that's
Have a
passed?
bow or a long bow, short bow?
You know, I would say that you could be bestowed Ervalor's bow at this point, since he's no longer using it. And you might need a bow, and you used it before.
Yeah.
I would be fine with you, taking the bow that he had, which I think was a short bow or a long bow. I can't remember.
I think it was a short bow
Yeah. Okay, that sounds right.
because I put
So-
that on my ranged weapons there just so I could do the
Yeah.
rolls.
While
Yeah.
they're fumbling around for gear, I'm gonna move over here, and I'm gonna scream at that captain right in his ear. Hard to port. Hard to port. Heave to and prepare to fight for our lives. And I point at the ship. Before they ram us.
All right. So do a charisma check,
Sure.
please.
This captain probably doesn't even know what the hell I just told him. Let's see, what is that? That's my attributes. That roll is kind of a foregone conclusion. It's just
Yeah.
pretty much
Yeah.
how good it is.
So I think you definitely get his attention. His eyes train on the southward threat. He starts to, I think, get a better context of what's coming in that direction. He doesn't look terribly panicked, but he looks maybe a little more concerned as you express your own fear. And as he's doing that, you notice he's sort of maneuvering the ship. He doesn't look like he's that familiar with it, like to you. Not that you're an expert either, but he doesn't look like someone that you think is necessarily an expert at steering or commandeering the ship. But he looks over at you and he says, "Damn it, girl, get off of this deck, or I shall have you removed. You've put
So
enough of our lives at danger."
So I turn to him and I say, "You'll do nothing. I am Bajan Lee Yuwana of the Priory of Alana. I don't play your political games. Now heave to and have your men prepare to fight."
All right, so he's like he's just sort of again like looking up more at the threat, the oncoming threat, to the south now. He is starting to kind of turn the ship a little bit, but he's turning it back towards them, and right now with the way, actually, what I want someone to do, if you would, is if someone could go to the what is it, collection tab, and roll our sailing conditions for the day. I'd like to see what the weather's like.
Not touching
Sure.
that.
I don't really have any of those. Is it a macro?
Yeah, there's a macro. If you
Yeah,
go
there
into
you go.
rollable
I
tables.
got it.
Okay. Cool.
And
So
actually, I wanted him to turn into them. I just Lee doesn't, like you said, she's not the greatest sailor.
well, she's bold. I'll give her that. And so he's not knowing exactly what he's doing anyway. He's trying to steer the vessel, and he's turning it a little bit. He starts to give a command down to this one purple dragon guard who was up on the top deck, one of the ones who removed Winnick. Looks like more of a senior guard to you all. And so he nods to him, and he turns, and all of the other dragons on the top deck all start moving over towards the south side of the ship. Several of them are armed with crossbows. The crewmates are kind of like, stepping back, like getting away now. Like, what in the heck is happening up here? So you guys can decide how you want to position yourselves first.
Range to the other boat.
They're closing in now, so you're thinking that you could hit them with your bow.
Yeah, 150 yards, 100 yards, or 50 yards.
Well, right now, I mean, on the map, I have them close because that's where we're gonna pick
Yeah.
up when I have you roll initiative. But at the current moment, while you're sort of positioning yourselves, they would still be maybe a couple hundred yards away.
Okay.
So you have a minute. Basically, I'm trying to give you guys a minute to decide where you want to be standing on the deck before I have you roll initiative, and then we'll see what happens. All right. So who would like to be our initiative roller for the evening? Or for this first encounter, I should say. So whoever wants to do that, roll a group initiative. I'll add you guys into the turn order.
I probably rolled all my ones for the night already, so.
You never know. Oh wait, I gotta clear this. Let's see. Clear some
There
of
you
these.
go. Nice.
Sorry, hold on, Brian. I gotta add you back in.
It's all right. No biggie.
There we go.
All right, somebody else got to do initiative after this. That's these Roll20 doesn't like me either tonight. It looks like.
Yes, not.
This could be the end of the road for us.
Oh man, it's you never know.
If it is, it was pretty good just making it to 3rd level, in my opinion.
Considering all things considered, I am impressed with what you guys have pulled off. I really didn't expect certain things to happen, but so we got 17. It looks like Kurza's got his. Bart, are you gonna be doing any attack or anything this round?
Nope. There's nothing
Okay.
really Bart's doing besides observing, and I think he's resolved to try and keep the dragons up and in the fight if he needs to, because he's not a whole lot of use in this
Okay.
context.
I will scream at Kurza. Kurza, we're gonna fight that Sahagin ship. Can you light me a torch, please?
I gave you all 5 of my torches.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't even remember that, but maybe you did.
Not a problem. I did.
Let's check my sheet.
All
Well,
right.
you probably did, and I just never wrote it down. Oh yeah. There you go. I've got a torch left. Wait, I got 3. So I'm starting to light up a torch. I stow my spear and my bucket next to this guy,
Okay. Let me.
almost completely ignoring him now, like he doesn't exist. And I light a torch.
Okay. Put. I mean. Well, you don't really need a torch for light, but I'll mark you that you lit one.
Oh, this is purely weapons now with the torch thing.
All right. So you've got a torch pulled and lit, and then Bart, you can go. Think you might be muted again.
Oh, sorry, I keep muting. It's a
No
little bit
worries.
noisy in the
No worries.
basement here,
That's
but
fine.
I guess I'll look around if there is something handy to grab as far as having. I don't know if there's any spears or anything on deck. Not that he can throw them, but other than that, he'll stand kind of at the ready, trying to be behind
Let's see.
the mast
Yeah.
here, so he's
Yeah.
not
So.
in direct fire of any bow shot coming in.
You can definitely find spears. You see spears sitting up here. They're almost like gaffs, but they could be used as spears. So you can help yourself to one of those, and if you want to move,
Yeah.
you can move. And that brings us to the mysterious new captain of the ship here, who again is just kind of turning the vessel, continuing to kind of turn things in this direction. Let's see, there we go, something like that. So he's not doing much other than that, and it brings up Kurza.
Are they at less than 150 yards?
Yeah, so they've closed in now, and as he's turning, they're both kind of closing in on one another. And
I have
you're
range
definitely in range.
breaks at 50, 100, and 150. So I'm just kind of curious
Yeah,
where they fit.
you'd be right under 150.
Okay. So I think I'm probably going to have to go with what is it, 2 per range bracket? So I think that's like a -5.
Ooh, it wasn't a good roll anyway. Wouldn't have been a hit, but you shoot in that direction, general direction anyhow. And maybe
Yeah.
it's just a little bit too far to your edge of your range to get something clear. But it's noticeable, right, that you've taken your shot. And so one thing that's interesting is you see that all of the purple dragons have also pulled up their crossbows, and almost simultaneous to you, like they unleash their crossbow bolts right after you. So it's kind of funny how almost like a split second before them you shoot one, and then immediately thereafter they shoot in unison. 3 of them shoot in unison in the direction of the boat. And so you guys don't necessarily know what the outcome of those shots are right now, but you see them engaging in a similar way, shooting south. So I'm gonna
5 on deck, though.
yeah. There's only 3
So-
that shot. Only 3 shot. Yep.
Interesting.
The others are still moving around. There's 2 others that are moving around right now. So you guys notice in front of the boat that there are a couple of sharks that are between their boat and your boat now. That becomes noticeable to you. They're closing in as well, and they're closer now than the boat is. So I'm going to move that forward like that. And that brings us back to initiative. So who'd like to roll initiative for this
I'd like
round?
to take my second shot.
Oh yeah, go for it.
I want to fire at the sharks then.
All right. You have 2
So they're going to
shots? I
be,
guess you do.
yeah, it's 2
2 per.
rate
For
of
a
fire
wizard?
is 2. So,
Okay.
well, yeah, just because it's a bow.
Oh, you are Elven, so.
Yeah. So
All right.
here we go. Bang. A little better.
Yeah. So you're aiming at a shark, right?
Yep.
Let me double check the shark.
Probably not enough.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I
guess
think
it's
sharks
not,
are
but
like 7. At least that's what I recall from
I'm testing you on this. Let's see if you're right.
my DMing days.
That's interesting. Where's shark? Must be under like it's not where you'd think it would be. It's under fish. Okay.
Yeah.
So a shark's AC is 6. You were
Yeah,
close in both calls. But you missed them. And it is now up to back to the top of the order for group initiative. I'm gonna clear these guys off.
You then, Adam.
What's
Yeah,
that?
whoever wants to roll initiative for the next round here.
Somebody else got to take it. I'm no longer confident in my roll 20 initiative capabilities.
You want to do it?
Well, I'm gonna roll for them, so I'll let you guys see what they rolled. So there's an 8. You beat me, so you guys can reset to 6 and figure out what you're doing from 6.
So now I'll turn to the so-called captain. So, Captain, what's your plan?
Um. So yeah, I mean, I think you would kind of see that he's not, necessarily doesn't feel compelled to answer you, but he does bark out at you. Um, he says, "Not to worry, nothing to worry about here. It's under control." But yeah, he's still kind of steering the ship now a little straighter, not trying to twist it 180, but he's got it turned around now. Um,
So, under my breath, as I turn back to the ship, I say, Tom Turkey.
all right. Anything else you wanted to do? You want to move, or are you gonna stay put right there where you're at? Good to go.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for them to board so I can meet them at the stairs here.
All right. So as you guys kind of are closing in on it, and uh, you start to see again this shark closing in towards you all. And on the one of the sharks, you see um, a Sahagin riding on the back of one of the sharks. Um, and you don't think you've seen this Sahagin before. He kind of stands out to you, not only because he's riding on the back of a shark, but he looks like the Baron looked a little bit to you
Four-armed?
because he's got 4 arms, yeah. But he's got like a gold sash across his chest, and he's got a like a red amulet on the top of the sash. And you can see that he's carrying what looks like to be like a trident. Um, and so he looks a lot different to you. He does look like a Sahagin, but he looks almost um, like a royal warrior Sahagin, not one that you've
Sure.
encountered to this point. And so he's riding on the back of, and I'm going to throw his thing up here, but it kind of basically just kind of emerges with him riding on the back of it. So it's just like this whole thing coming out of the water with a humanoid on its back is what you guys notice. And then another shark.
I'm gonna call out the leader there's a leader riding one of the sharks.
Okay. So everybody at that point anyone who didn't see it would know what's going on and would be looking in the direction of the sharks.
Yep.
All right, that brings up Bart.
Bart's gonna look around. Are these cannons actually serviceable that we're looking at here on the ship?
They are, yeah, they are. They're not right now being manned by the crew, who you would expect would know how to operate them. It looks like that they're not. There's no ammunition on the deck, is what you notice.
I'm gonna
hell?
turn
Is
to
he-
the two crew next to me and say, "Can we get these cannons going? Where's the ammunition?"
And I think the crew, being as hardened as they are, they kind of sneer at you. That they're you get the sense that they just don't. They're not going to take a command from you. If you want to try to give a charisma check, you might be able to get a reaction from them different. You know.
Ooh.
No. So yeah, they kind of look at you and say, "You ain't in charge." And they just kind of scoff at your at your questioning what they're doing and questioning what's going on the boat, like it's not your place or their place to question.
I might count on my fingers in front of them and make a comment about all right, like 7 or 8 fish per each man. This should be a terrible day for us.
All right. Well, you've made friends with the crew, and so now you see the captain, the new captain, so to speak, step away from his wheel for a moment, and he walks towards the top of this staircase that is here. Um, and for those of you who are nearby, yeah, I guess you're all kind of nearby enough. I think those of you in front of him, let's say Kurza and Bart, you would notice for sure that he appears to be doing some somatic movements and gestures that look like he's about to cast a spell. So you would have pretty clear view of that. And Kurza, you would think, why don't you just do an intelligence check for the heck of it? Although I know your
Spellcraft check.
intelligence or spellcraft. There you go. Now we're getting into the proficiencies. Nice. You recognize it as what appears to be like a evocation wizard spell that you believe he's about to cast. And so as you kind of recognize that, you guys all notice a long bolt of lightning leave his hand as he lifts it over the side of the ship, and the bolt travels directly south, all the way through the ship in this direction. And so as that happens, you guys see it strike on the deck of the other boat, and you see several Sahagin fall off the side of the boat. It looks like it causes quite a bit of extensive damage to the boat itself, but several of the Sahagin were sent to the deck and off of the deck from the lightning bolt. As he's doing that, he pulls back his before he casts, his hood kind of falls off of his head, and you guys can see that he is actually a human, and he looks like an older man. So now you get a better, clearer view of him, and you notice, that he just looks like he's pretty battle worn from what you can see of him. He looks like he's seen some action, so you can see some scars on his face, very clearly actually from where you're standing. But he fires this bolt off. It kind of rings through across the surface of the water, causing a bunch of destruction. And then Kurza, you get to act next after you see that happen.
Take a shot at the this guy.
Our shark rider. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You will need probably an AC 5, I think it is, to hit him.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
How about a second shot?
your bow was not true on this shot. Yeah, you can get a second shot. You'll get 2 per turn, but technically your shot will go off at the end of the round. So if you want to
Okay.
wait, and we'll see what happens. That way, maybe if something changes,
Sure
you can
thing.
save your shot. And yeah, it would be 5 AC. All right, so the purple dragons on the deck now are all along this southern side and looking in that same general direction, and they start firing again, pretty much in unison. Not quite this round in unison, but they're fairly tight in their order, and they're firing crossbows towards our Sahagin. Oops. All right, and they get. All right. They hit. They look like that. Actually, one of them struck the leader. Another 2 of them struck sharks. So you definitely see their bolts hitting their targets now. But a couple of them missed pretty badly. That brings up the sharks, who are actually closing in now a little bit, getting a little bit closer to the ship. And at this point, you guys are kind of alerted to some movement in the water that looks like it almost looks like something rising up out of the water in this direction, and it's almost like the water level is getting lower or something that you see in the water now, in like a sandbar in the water. So let me cut over to a different screen. We'll have to make a couple of quick changes to update everything. Hang on one second. Let me. Actually, this might be a good point for a quick break, so I can set this up real fast too. And if you guys need 5 minutes to do something, we could pause here. Is that cool?
That'd be perfect, actually.
Yeah, that's a good time to stop till the next map.
Yeah, let me. I just want to make sure I copy all the things over because you guys moved around quite a bit. So we'll do a quick 5. Cool. All right. Well, we'll pick up back here. Let me get the turn order squared. Okay, so move it over here. I drew on this map where you see this sandbar. Again, it feels like the water level is dropping based on, this sandbar that you see, and these shark are getting closer to the ship. They're actually sort of right up next to the ship, below the ship at this point. The one that's on their backs is still above water. The ship itself moves a little closer as well, so they're closing distance. But it's actually all the way back to the top of the order, so whoever would like to...
My second shot.
Yeah.
Are you guys seeing the ship, or I guess I still see intermission?
Oh, my bad. My bad. I was talking to my own map and not the one... Let me move it back.
Okay.
My bad.
There we go.
All right.
This is bad.
All right. Close this.
Hang on, though. Something big is coming up.
All right. So, group initiative. Whose turn to try to... I'll roll mine first so you can see. I mean, someone can beat that. Someone.
Same.
Oh, wow.
But we didn't lose.
True. That's a good point. That's a way to look at it on the bright side. All right. So everybody's 9 here. He can fall off of this. All right. I think everybody's acting on a 9. Yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody's acting on a 9 right now. So, is anybody attacking anything?
Flipping back from the rail to the other side and finding something to hang on to.
Okay. All right, so you're not attacking. So, yeah, the sharks have swirled in now, closer. I guess Bart, we'll start with you, and then I'll go through the rest.
Yeah, Bart will point out to the water and ask the captains, who are now my best friends next to me here, or the crewmen. Ask them what they make of that out in the water.
And you're pointing to the sandbar. Yeah. So let's see if they'll. Yeah. So I think one of them kind of stops what he's doing when you say that. Like, just stops dead in his tracks and is staring out at it, and he's just he just like looks almost frozen by it, like he's never like shocked by what he's seeing. So you get the sense that they don't understand what it is, or he doesn't anyway.
Not a good sign.
So Kurza, you already covered up. Sorry, Lee.
I don't have anything to do other than just to kind of sit there. Maybe I am looking around for like did he? You know what? I'm completely focused on what's happening in this direction. That's all I'm doing.
Okay. All right. So the um, guards or the knights of Cormyr will go ahead and take attack rolls against, and they're firing more at the sharks. One of them is critted on one of them. So let's see. We're gonna do 1, 2, 3. All right. So this shark here is taking some significant damage. It is not dead, but it has taken a heavy shot. The other shot actually injured this one. So you see some, blood churning it out in the water here at this point from these shots. A couple of them have hit. So those two in red have both been struck with pretty heavy shots. And the Sahagin captain, or royal warrior, I should call him, has a bolt sticking out of him, but it doesn't seem to have caused him a bunch of damage. So that brings up the caster slash captain. He is going to go ahead and step back to the base of the ship here and grab a hold of the wheel again. So that brings up the Sahagin on the back of the shark, and he actually reaches down and throws his trident from his hip straight up towards one of the knights. So he is missing with that shot. His trident goes flying up over top of the deck. You guys kind of see it clear the deck and go over the other side of the ship. And then at that time, he reaches down and he grabs what looks like to be a spear from his hip, and he has another attack that he takes. And he strikes one of our guards. So he's going to damage him. All right, so he's done some damage to one of these guards here on the edge of the ship, who now gets a spear lodged in his torso and comes stepping back away from the edge of the ship, kind of lowering his weapon and now dealing with this. That goes then all the way around again, I guess, to the top of the order. Let me change the map here. So, also, this is not really the scene necessarily, but I really like this picture of two ships in battle. Almost just imagine this minus the cannon fire at the moment coming up. But actually what really you're seeing is that this sandbar has now gotten much larger, and it's like an island, almost like a small island has emerged from the water here. As you guys are closing in, you see again these two shark that were hurt are kind of pulling down now underwater, submerging and turning away a little bit. But this is now sort of the new view, if you will, and you guys can roll initiative and I guess beat a 7. No, you can't. You can match it though, once again. I'm actually going to roll a different initiative for the Cormyr. Alright. All right. Anybody attacking anything?
I think Bart will not attack anything, but try and move to the knight that was speared to administer his healing herbalism and use his healing kit for once, perhaps.
Okay. Yeah, so you could actually act right away then. Okay, so first let me move this one.
My character will turn to the captain and actually turning her back on the Sahagin, I'll say, Captain, Sahagins usually have spears to throw. We should prepare for that.
Um, so go ahead and do another charisma roll, Brian, just for fun, for giggles. So you do actually see him kind of register a reaction registers on his face, and he shouts down at that senior guard, and he says, "Go get Winnick! God damn it!" And he is just sort of manning the wheel and looking a little bit perturbed. And so that one that he's given the command to steps off the uh, immediately starts to head in that direction, let's say. So you've successfully kind of annoyed him into the fact to recognizing that he's not doing very well and that he isn't taking command of the ship like he should. So he's calling for Winnick. Let's see. I think Bart, you're administering the aid. Was there any check you needed to make?
That's what I'm trying. It's been a while since I used it. Uh, I think it's a healing check. I'm trying to look it up real quick, but I'm in a comfy chair, so I'm using PDFs today, which is annoying. But, there's my pre-aids thing. Yeah, so it'd probably be the healing check, and then I think because I have herbalism with it, I get to add the extra hit point to it.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And I did have. I'm just trying to remember which book I got it from. But I had the healing kit as well, which I thought had an effect.
Yeah, I'm not sure if is it a benefit to the healing itself, or is it a benefit to the mount healed? I guess that's the question. I wonder, we'll have to look up the healer's
Yeah.
kit. If you want to look that up, let me know. But I think
Yeah, I think initially it's just a D3 though, with the proficiency check for healing.
let's see.
If I make the check anyway, so I'll just go ahead and roll that for now, so we don't putz around too awful much. That's with my wisdom. Ish.
So what does that mean? Does it state specifically that they don't get any healing, or that you
I kind of
injure
assume
them?
that it doesn't. I guess it doesn't say anything about injuring them.
Yeah,
But
I think if it were a 20, it might be considered like a critical fail, right? But in this case, it's just a failure, so you aren't able to necessarily give them the healing. I guess it sounds like.
yeah,
Okay. All right. At the same time, though, like you do see that he's like continuing to kind of fight. Like he's accepting your attempt to heal him, but he's also still like more focused on the fight, and maybe that's making it pretty difficult for you to kind of do what you need to do anyway. Um, and so you notice that like he's a professional soldier, like he's just dialed in, and he's just going. Um, so that brings up Kurza next. You're on. Or
Well,
unless
when
there's
he
anything else.
calls to have the other guy brought back up again, I'll turn away and just try and hide a giggle, and before going back to attacking. So I don't know if the the crewman near me notices that or not, but I'm trying to hide it from both the purple dragons and
Oh,
the big
okay.
guy on the big deck.
I like it. I think charisma check would be a good way to see if you're able to act your way through it without being, being overt. That'd be cool. Right on.
Just barely.
So, yeah, believable somehow or other that you're able to get out a blurt, a laugh out, and still not be noticed necessarily. So,
I'll attack.
all right.
I'm assuming I can't see the targets in the water from where I'm standing, so I'm going to go for the targets in the boat.
Yeah, you're in that center area. You might,
Yeah.
you might be able to see the Sahagin who's riding on the back, but you wouldn't probably be able to see any of the sharks. You would clearly see, all of the Sahagin on the deck of the other boat. Yep.
Right, this one here, since he's closest forward.
Okay.
And they're probably an easier target armor-wise than the guy in the water. And
Yeah,
I have a really crappy
they're
THACO, so
they're a 5. Yeah, they're an AC 5 to hit still though, which isn't.
let's go with see if I can hit something.
Oh,
Ooh,
asking you
I
shall
did.
receive.
How novel. Let's see here. Where's my damage?
Four damage. Okay, so tell us what's this look like as Kurza suddenly goes back to the bow from nowhere.
Well, we're gonna shoot past and try and pick out one of the Sahakwan on the deck, because, well, they probably just got ravaged by that lightning bolt, I'm thinking, so maybe I can just pick one off and pop them in the head. Or just the chest.
Yeah,
So
you. I think
let
that's
it loose and hit
it's
him in the chest.
you would see at this point that there would be some holes in the sails of this ship. And kind of speaking of the lightning bolt, in fact, it looks like there might be a small fire coming from the middle of the ship. It's not large, but you definitely think something caught fire on the deck of the ship. So I'm gonna move that in so that we can see. Oops.
Actually, what's their range? Is that 16 feet?
Hold on. No, the scale is not correct.
Yeah.
Where's all this?
So I have some nice Greek fire I can throw over there to add to their fire concerns.
Let's see. So these would be
But next turn.
probably. Yeah, here we go. So it should be right now. If you check it now, it's about 15 feet per square on a regular map, but this is a custom map, so this is accurate.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Yeah, almost close enough.
Lee is up. Oh, she already got them to go after Winnick. I'm sorry. So the captain, the temporary captain, who is now just sort of manning the steering wheel, is looking a little more frazzled by the situation. He steps over again to the top of the steps here, and he looks like he is starting to cast another spell for those of you who are below him on the deck. And as he lifts up his hand again this time, it looks like it emits some type of orb from his hand. Those orbs are like bluish, and they sort of fly off at an angle over towards the front of the ship. You see the one that you hit, Kurza, fall over as one of them strikes him. He falls dead. Another one that's behind him that looks like he was trying to address the fire, he gets hit, and he's still alive, but he's like now no longer looking very good. Another one that gets hit in the back here falls off of the side of the boat, but he doesn't. You're not sure if he's dead or not. So you just see again that he's cast a multi-target spell and caused some more chaos on the
Missile?
top of that ship.
I
If you
would
want to
probably
spellcraft
recognize
it,
it.
yeah, if you want to
I
spell,
did.
yeah, you would think it's his version of a magic missile. It looks a
How
little
many did he get
different.
off?
I mean, you thought there were at least 5 of them, so.
Oh, okay. So that puts him at 10th level?
So yeah, I mean, you would know definitely. That would give you a, you would be the one person on the deck of the ship that would have a sense of that,
Yep.
So that brings up the Sahagin on the shark. So the Sahagin on the shark is now gotten up close to the back of the ship, and he is now gonna go ahead and target this. Oops, I can't turn him. There we go. He looks like he's got the caster in his sights right now, and so he is starting to pull out what looks like, again, more spears. They're sort of like short spears that stick together, and he pulls them apart and is able to throw them. And he's got 4 arms, so he can make multiple attacks. But he's only taking 2 attacks right now and throwing towards the caster. And he is gonna do. This first one hits the caster, knocking him back a little bit towards you, Lee. And as he hits him, it looks like it's stuck into his thigh, one of these spears, and he kind of screams out as it happens. You see some blood gushing out, but at the same time, too, you notice that it looks like the spear itself has like a tar-like substance on it. Like on its tip and along the spear a little bit, it's got like this almost tar appearance to it. So that you would have seen that closer than anyone. That then brings up the purple dragons, who are going to go ahead and attack. Again, this time in unison, they're going to go ahead and attack the Sahagin that just attacked their leader. And they actually make a hit, 1 hit on him. So actually, of 4 shots, only 1 hit. All right. So another bolt is now sticking out of the leg of this royal warrior. I'm going to continue to call him, who's a Sahagin. Next are, let's see, that's the top of the order. So you guys can roll again for initiative.
Take my second shot.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Let's do that against another one of the
Boat.
Sahak, one on the boat there. And bang. Nope. Goes wide.
All right. Yep. And we got initiative is 6 versus a 7, so you guys will get to act first a little bit there. Everybody in? All right. So
Anything in the turn order?
What is it? Right click on the token to get into the turn order?
You should be in there. Are you? Is the turn order blank for you?
It is blank for me.
And me.
Oh, all
Looks
right.
blank
Let me.
there.
I'll just start over with it.
Cool looking map though. Thank you, DM Jamie. Like the ships.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Okay, you guys should see something now. Hopefully in the turn order.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take the party token off.
Let's see.
Yeah, so 6 and sharks are. So you notice that the 2 of the sharks who were injured were pretty badly injured, and they both submerged. So now you just see one shark and the shark that's being ridden by the Sahagin, at least on the surface. That's there's more obviously underneath. But you've laid eyes on 4 total. They act, and then I think that brings up. You guys are all acting on a 6, correct? So you got yours. Who else missing? 6, 6. I'm just gonna bring these guards down to 1 item. I think that's what messed it up. All right. So you can go ahead and I'll put it in order. Oh shit. Should have been 10. The first thing you see is you hear some commotion coming from the steps, and you hear some people coming up the steps, and you see Captain Wennick emerge from the lower deck, and he's followed by a couple of Purple Dragon guards, and they're kind of almost like pulling him along, and he's sort of coming up to the top deck and looking around, and his eyes light up when he sees the scene up here and what's going on. He's like, "You're gonna kill us all," and he calls out the name of the man that you guys have been hearing this whole time, Valashar. So I'll type that in so that you have it. Just so he says that you're gonna kill us all, Valashar, and he comes kind of almost strolling still up the deck, not moving with a ton of urgency, but he comes walking up to the wheel and starts changing course a little bit. So you guys see Winnick now, and he's at the helm. So he acted first. The spellcaster now is kind of focused on looking towards the Sahagin, but he goes late. So Bart, you're up.
I probably will go over and try and do a little first aid on Velashar.
Okay.
Might be mumbling under my breath as I do it about at least we have somebody out now who might get us out of this.
All right. Yeah. So tell us a little bit of what you do, because like he's standing there with this tarred spear in his leg. He doesn't look like he's in a good situation.
He's so probably get the spear out of his leg and use some of the herbs I have around to try and soak up the tar and kind of work it into the wound and patch it up as much as I can immediately. But I can also probably let him know that this doesn't look great, and I might want to stay around and help him out with it for the next few rounds. And he would get a bonus to any poison save if he lets me administer assistance with it, just from the herbalism skill as well.
Okay. Yeah. So he kind of does sit down and allow you to administer the aid. noticing the black substance, that kind of gets his attention as well. And now that Winnick's at the command too, he looks like he wants to stay put. So he sits down and allows it, and kind of is almost barking at Winnick a little bit, muttering back to him. He's like, "You're the fool that got us into this." So they're kind of, you could tell that they aren't seeing eye to eye, but he's letting you administer. Anything else you wanted to say or do?
No, I'm just checking to see if it's like coursing through his veins, turning him turning it black, like spreading or anything. But and I think he gets a D3 hit points of recovery.
Okay. All right. Got it. All right.
Do you want me to roll that or?
No, yeah, you can roll that, please.
That 4. Oh, whoops. What's is it slash roll and then
Yeah.
just space
Slash R
D3?
space. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Well, he gets what he gets.
It gets what. Yeah. I mean, you've helped him. You removed it from his leg too, which is gonna help with ongoing damage and his poison check, which he has to make here in a second. So, and he will get a plus, right? He gets a plus to that.
Yeah, let's see, according to the handbook would get for herbalism. Where does let's see, was it under
Looks like a
healing?
pirate icon.
Treat, they get a +2 to his check. No, that's for disease. Where? Okay, yeah, if I administer, with the next 5 rounds, trying to help him cope with the poison, he does get a +2 to his saving throw.
Okay. Okay.
And then I did finally find the healer's kit, which really just gives me a +1 to my chance on
Okay.
healing.
Got it. Okay. Then I think Lee, you do get to act this round. What would you like to do?
Yeah. About the time Bart starts pulling the spear out of Valashar, my hand goes on it and it says, I can use this. It's only right to return it to Cinder.
He would nod at you, like approvingly, that you could throw it if you felt like you could.
All right, so I'm going to change my the spear is a 6, so I'll go to 12 if I'm going to throw this now, DM Jamie.
Okay.
Now, I probably shouldn't get involved in this, but what about non-weapon proficiency negatives or whatever? I don't see is there a reason Kurza doesn't have those when he's firing a bow? I mean, wizards aren't exactly known for bows, right? Is there something going on that I don't know? Not that
Have a miscellaneous +1 for being an elf,
the non
along with all the non-weapon proficiencies.
He gets a minus. Looks like he's getting a -3.
Yeah, that's the net is a -3.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I'm -2 with a spear. Yeah, when 12 comes around, I'll throw it back at shark tanker
Yeah.
guy.
The royal warrior here, the Sahagin royal warrior that you've seen, launching things across your deck here. Sure. He is AC 4.
Yeah, well, I go on 12 now, right? Because I pulled it up.
Oh yeah, you're
I
moving down.
grabbed it.
Let me move you down.
And my torch is still in my left hand because I can hold something with my shield.
Got it. All right. So the
I'm probably over.
I'm not sure return to cinder is a term from back in the day, but maybe it is.
I mean, kill the messenger. You could kill, I guess, something like that. But maybe there's probably is an equivalent. I like that. But yeah, so the purple dragons are all over on this side now. The lead one has returned up to the top deck. He starts kind of looking now like a little more concerned, and you see a couple of them emerge with some barrels, and it looks like they've got some ammunition for these cannons that they're finally bringing to the top deck. Winix, giving some commands, and the crew hands are helping as well. So you see, some more activity going on, and it looks like they may be in a position to fire a cannon here at this other ship. So that's all happening on the deck. At the same time, some of them are continuing to shoot with their heavy crossbows towards the. Most of them are shooting towards the warrior on the shark, but a few are also shooting towards the ship. So I'm gonna roll just one collective roll for them, and they are striking like crazy here. So they are. We're gonna go ahead and pluck one of them. So another Sahagin looks like killed and falls off of the deck of the ship. The other one actually has hit the warrior in his side. Looks like it's kind of gone through his ribs. Pretty nasty shot. Like he hit him at a great angle from behind almost, and so he's got now a heavy bolt sticking from his rib cage, and looks like he's suffering some damage. So you get the sense that he's pretty bloodied. Another one actually strikes and injures this other shark, who that shark looks like he hasn't been hit yet, so that was the first hit on him. And another Sahagin actually caught a bolt in it, but it's still alive. So that was their best round by a mile. They are pulling their weight now a little bit. The shark acts next, and after being hit, it actually just goes underwater. You see this kind of large pool of blood now just get larger in the water, but he kind of, again, goes far enough under you don't know where he's at. Kurza's next, I believe.
Any open flames on that ship over there?
Yeah, you see an open flame on the deck of that ship, which that ship's gotten a little bit closer. I'll move it just a hair bit closer here.
Put some Greek fire on that fire just to add fuel to the fire, so to speak.
Add some fuel to the fire. I like it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so is it just roll to hit kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like I just need to hit
AC 10
an
kind of.
object.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, AC 10 object. Oh.
Gee whiz.
So we'll say that it has gone a little bit maybe
Too far, who
maybe
knows?
you tossed it a little too far, and it went over, kind of bounced over, rolled over their deck, but the intent was clear and just missed. So Valashar is now kind of sitting there, allowing himself to be tended to by Bartholomew, and he actually also kind of is pulling out what looks like in his pocket. He's got a potion vial that he's able to produce, and he takes a sip of it.
Okay.
Um,
So this is round 2 of 5 for
mhm.
poisoning aid, if that is pertinent.
Yep. Okay. All right, and then the warrior Sahagin is he just suffered a pretty major wound, and so he reaches back with one of his arms and pulls the spear out of, or the bolt out of his side with one of his moves, or one of his arms. His other arms, now he's chucking what looks like again these spears, these sort of short spears, straight up at the um, each of the closest 3 purple dragons. All right, one of them he fumbles, which I'm going to say is going to fall essentially beside him, and the other 2 hit. So let me change this. So now you see these 2 have been struck with these spears, and that brings up. Let's see, the ship, they already moved actually. That brings up Lee.
I'll take a take an aim at the the boss, Sea Devil.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, where's my ranged? I haven't even added it yet. Oh man, I suck. And I'll just pass on this turn, as I can't get a beat on him yet, but I'm waiting to, if he moves a little closer, I'm gonna unleash this spear on him.
All right, so yeah, he's close enough, and he's kind of close, definitely close enough, and seems to be getting closer. He doesn't seem to be backing away. So if you want to let it rip, you can.
I think I'll wait till next round.
All right.
I want to make sure I got a good shot at this guy with his poison spear that he has.
All right. So that brings up, or no, I think Balashar already acted. That was his last one. Winnick has now kind of got the ship turning back towards the northeast, and he's gonna turn the ship a little bit more. I think I got it all on there. There we go. And this one. All right. So it's gotten to the point where the 2 ships appear like they may collide, and it looks like the Sahagin are intending to do so, and Winnick is attempting to kind of avoid it, but it's quite close at the moment. So you kind of see their bow getting closer to yours, or to your stern, and so it is back to the top of the order. We'll re-roll initiative, and you guys can see if you can beat a 9. Yay! All right, so he's gonna go on a 13. Oops. All right, and they're going on a 5 plus 7, 12. Okay. Think I got it. Oh wait, no. All right. Bart is first.
So I'll just kind of looking back behind me a little bit at the purple dragons that were struck, trying to notice if any of them were in like immediate danger of passing away, but still checking in with Valashar and his poison status, maybe getting some clean vials of water out and hoping to flush the wound out a little more.
So I think do go ahead and do it. another healing check just to see if you can get a sense of the overall health of these three. And I'll give you some more info. So yeah, so you would notice
Okay.
basically that the life force of Valashar is a lot stronger than the two guards, and one of the guards in particular seems to have suffered more than the others, and is probably uh, below half of his health. Whereas Valashar looks like he's scratched at the moment to you, and the other guard just looks like he's slightly wounded. So that would be your
I,
assessment, and you can apply
am
that
I
check to whichever of the three you want.
okay? Yeah, I would probably nod to Velishar in the direction of the most injured guard and head over that way to see if I could help. A
Yeah,
bit more of a taking a triage approach, more or less.
yeah. Okay, so we'll let you. Let's move you. If you could move yourself over towards this one here, is the one that's the most injured. Yeah, there you go. And then I guess you can apply that healing check to him. So he would get what, a 1d3 also?
Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
So,
All right.
couple of
And
points.
yeah, and I think the critical part is that you've got the spear out of him. So I'm gonna pull the red off of him for now. He's been struck by it, but I'm pulling that red off just for the fact the spear's out. Um, that anything else that you want to do? Probably not.
Nope. That probably takes up most of my actions right there, I'd assume.
Yeah, you do. I would say this, that you do also get a view of the Sahagin warrior, and you see the extent of the wound that he had in his ribs, and it looks pretty severe from your angle. Looks like there's like a hole in the back of his chest, and he's kind of bleeding pretty quickly out of it. So that's something that you would have seen pretty clearly from that vantage point too. So you have that, and Winnick is up, and Winnick's kind of he's shouting at his deckhands. He's got them pulling ropes and turning the masts and the sails, and they are trying like hell to avoid impact from the Sahagin ship. So that's what he's spending his turn doing. Valashar has now stood back up and turned himself in the direction of the Sahagin, and he is attempting to cast a spell. All right. So it looks like it almost looks like there's some wind in the sail of the front sail. Kurza, you would kind of think that he's trying somehow to slow the advance of the ship, but you're not exactly sure what the spell is. But you see wind almost swirling and moving in this front part of their ship as he's casting. So it kind of seems like it's somewhat slowing the ship down, but not entirely. That means we are back to their boat. So I'm gonna just check and see. All right, so it looks like they're going to actually make a collision with the rear of the boat. And so you guys feel, a jolt as their ship finally makes contact with your ship. And at that point on their deck, you do see that the fire that they had was growing to the point to where it's probably a third of their sail is on fire, and it's their main sail right now that's on fire. And so it hits the back of your ship. Right now, you hear some grinding and breaking of boards. It looks like their ship suffers quite a bit of damage as it strikes your ship, but you're not really too clear on how much your own ship has suffered. But it definitely jolts the ship to the point that everybody will need to make a save to see if you can stay on your feet from the impact. So if you'd like to do a dexterity check to stay on your feet here. All right, so Bart and Lee have failed, and Kurza has made it. So Kurza, you are able to brace yourself just in time for the impact. However, Lee and Bart, it was more significant of a bump than you maybe had braced yourself for, or maybe you didn't think it was coming when it did, and it knocked you guys to your butts. So you're sitting on the deck at the moment, just kind of knocked backward. You don't suffer any damage from it, but you will need to work on getting yourself back up. Before that can happen, though, um, the Sahagan warrior is now close up on your ship, and he is still trying, it looks like, to throw these spears upward. He's actually turned a little bit, so he's kind of like doubling back. At the same time, you see more of these sharks reemerge. You're not sure if they're reemerging or they're new sharks, but there's sharks. There's more sharks than there were a moment ago. So he goes ahead and attacks. All right, so he fumbled one again. So this one, I'm actually gonna see what happens on this one.
Is that
Okay, so he's just dropping this one. The other one that he threw first hit another one of these. So this one I'm marking in red has now been hit. So a different one of them now has one of these spears sticking out of him, and he kind of falls back a little bit and hollers as he's catches that in the arm. The warrior is kind of like spun back around, like I said, so he's like almost like turned his back to you a little bit now. For those of you on the back side of the ship, and that brings up Lee. So
There's
Lee,
some vocabulary coming from me that would make a sailor blush. And I turn, and I'm trying to make sure my torch doesn't hit the deck, but I don't care about the spear anymore. I'm on my hands and knees. I look up and like, Winnick, they rammed us. Now what? And I start to get up.
yeah, actually, Winnick, you see, was able to hold himself up because he held onto the wheel, and he obviously knew it was coming, and it looks like he may have steered the ship in a way to where he thought he could take the impact more so than they could. So you do think he's in the game as far as he's paying attention to what they're trying to do, but they came a lot faster than you could move, and by the time he got to the top deck, it was already kind of set that they were lining you up pretty well. So he did a good job of turning it, but yeah, he's not happy right now that his ship has taken damage on his command. So point taken. But you do see across on the other ship several of these Sahagan very clearly now. They look very similar, obviously, to the ones you'd seen before. The ship that they're on, now you get a better view of the deck now that it's struck your ship. And it looks like, there's a bunch of different boxes and crates that are smashed all over the top part of this deck. So, you don't know what to make of that maybe, but you do notice there's all this debris and smashed up crates and barrels on the surface of this ship. And then you've got the back of the Sahagan warrior that you can see, as well as these other sharks that are circling.
So my character, as she stands up, is thinking this fire on these boats isn't good. It's a full round to stand up, correct?
I would say, I mean, you could still move if you wanted to move half your movement.
I'm good as long as I'm up. My torch is
All right.
still lit, and I still have my shield, and things are good.
You are intact, sir. Well, ma'am, I should say. Kurza, you are up.
Sir, ma'am.
Sir, ma'am.
I'm wondering if I can use a ring of the ram to either put a hole in their boat,
Hmm.
or I'm thinking knock the royal warrior off his shark. So I think I'll use 2 charges for that.
All
So
right.
he'll get a save versus spell at -1, and I'll do 2 charges to try and knock him off his shark. And 2 damage, of course.
All right. Well, he failed his save, so
So he's gotten a knockback,
yep,
essentially.
yep. And
And here's your damage.
wow, that's pretty good. Okay, so I'm gonna move him off of. Just copy this one. All right, yeah, I'm gonna say he's this one here that's knocked off. I'll put a put something yellow on him. There we go. So we know he's different. All right, awesome. So yeah, you're able to basically tip him right off of the back of the shark. You know, he's got 4 arms, and he uses one of them to hang on to the fin of the shark. You know, the other ones he's using to attack most of the time. So somehow or other, you know, when you hit him with the ring, that force was able to dislodge his fourth hand there and get him to tip off of the side at the same time. Where did you direct the force of the blow?
Oh, ram to the chest, of
Chest.
course.
So yeah, so he
You
just
know,
kind of
kind of
like
lift him off his shark a little bit and drop him in the water a few feet afterwards.
yeah, so he displaces right off of the back of the shark, and of course, I mean he, you know, just kind of you know is able to quickly adjust and swims around almost like a frog, you know, would. It's not like he's not comfortable in the water, but he's not happy, and he does kind of glance and look back up, like he's almost like taking a number, trying to figure out who did that. So yeah, that you know kind of threw him a little bit there, and now he's got to spend some effort to get himself back in position. So well done.
And some damage, too.
That was a good amount of damage, actually. Really good amount. Really good roll.
I was rather surprised.
So we've got these a couple injured and a couple not injured purple dragons on the front of the boat. They are starting now to peer over towards the same direction where they see the the Sahagin who was just knocked off of his shark, and they take that as their moment to try to light him up. So there are 4 of them firing this round, and there are 2 hits. All right, so you guys see, you know, another couple of shots taken from heavy crossbow fire from the knights, and they strike. 2 of them strike the warrior. 1 of them strikes his shark. So now at this point, you know, you definitely see a lot of blood in the water. You know, nothing new for this area. You've seen now since the beginning of this fight a bunch of blood in this water, but now it just looks like a you know pretty big pool of it. He is treading water, kind of moving, almost looking like he's going to move back towards the shark, but he's got a couple more bolts sticking out of the top of his shoulder. That
Maybe
is
a few broken ribs to impede him.
he does have a hole in his rib, basically. So he's in really rough shape. Is the way I would characterize his condition. New initiative, new round here. So I will do my own 8 and 6. All right, so oops, where is he? All right. All right. So it looks like it's gonna be Winnick, basically still steering your ship. He's got it to the point where you hear it kind of grinding forward, as almost like it's pulling their ship with it, and it's kind of causing their ship to turn a little bit as it's pulling forward. You do still see the fire and several Sahagin on their ship. And that brings up Bart.
I think Bart still needs to gain his feet again, so he'll kind of collect up whatever bits of his healing bag and supplies he might have scattered when he was thrown to the ship deck and gain his feet and maybe hang on a little bit tighter to the railing this time as he stands up
All
and
right.
looks around to see if anyone's in immediate danger of succumbing to their wounds.
You would just notice, that these two with the red still have, spears sticking out of them. They're conditioned to just sort of fight on at the moment. They don't look like they're stopping to address it. So those would be things, if you wanted to, you could act on, to try to pull the spear out of the one
I
nearest
mean,
you.
there's one right next to me if I've got enough.
I would think if it's something you
Movement
wanted
action.
to do, that you could have done it in a single motion almost as you were trying to even get
Sure.
yourself up. So
Yeah, he definitely would do that. I think it's in our advantage to keep as many men in tin cans between us and the Sahagin as possible. Did you want a check for that or anything?
yeah, if you want to if you want to roll, if you want to do the
Healing?
healing check and then see what he gets healed, I will
Alright.
pull the spear out of him. And successful, right on anyway.
Barely. And
And he gets all
right.
all you can give. So you've patched another one up and pulled another
Well,
spear
I
out.
guess technically he
+1
only
too.
technically he only gets the healing if it's done within 1 round of being injured. So I
Oh,
guess that
I
wouldn't
see.
that
I
wouldn't
got you.
necessarily apply, but yeah,
I got you.
if it's helpful to get the spear out, that's still
Yeah,
something.
it is. In this case, it is. So you definitely would have a sense that getting that uh, getting that out of him as quickly as you could out of his system is going to be helpful. So you're doing good work by pulling those out. Those are going to save him down the line. The other, there is one more that has a spear in him, but it is on to Valishar, who actually turns over in this direction as well. And at this point, he produces from his side what looks like a small wand. And so he lifts this wand up, and as he does that, it looks like one of the Sahagin, who was kind of running towards the front to kind of look like he was going to hop across to your ship. He freezes him in place. The Sahagin just stops dead in his tracks on the front of the boat. So as that happens, their boat already moved, and that brings up Lee.
I will reposition myself right here. Waiting for them to come and try to jump onto the boat, and if they do, that's when I'm going to try to make sure that they don't get it with my shield.
Okay, I'm gonna move you back right behind them then. So Curse is up. Oops.
Do I have a line of sight to our friendly neighborhood royal warrior?
You do. You could see him if you step towards the edge of the ship, you would see him. You don't see him from the middle of the ship, but he's when he's on the back of the
we go.
shark. You can you can take a step and see him. Yep.
And then we'll shoot at him.
All right.
Just because. Oh, wow. I actually did single digits. Of course, it doesn't hit him, right?
Oh man, do you have any pluses? I'm gonna give you a plus because he's swimming in the water.
Oh, okay.
He's trying
Kind
to.
of flat-footed, so to
Yeah,
speak.
exactly. So you needed one more, and I just think in this position, shooting from way above him down on him, while he's basically trying to swim back to the shark would certainly give you a +1. So that's a hit.
There we go. Let him
3
have 3 more
damage.
damage.
Yeah. Okay. So you catch him again. You know he's got his arms and everything else exposed, and you catch him with one of your flight arrows. So he's in rough shape, but he's obviously still kind of intent on getting back on this
Still
shark.
twitching.
Yeah. The purple knight or purple dragons may have something to say about that though, because they are about to fire down upon him again. So they're going to be 4 attacking this round. 4d20. Oh, oof, not very good on their part. So one of the sharks is hit again, but all the other shots seem to miss. So that brings up the Sahagin. There's a Sahagin here who looks like he's absolutely still, like he can't move at all. The one beside him, however, is moving across and starting to jump across. So Lee, that would trigger your action where you can go ahead and take an attack before he gets to do anything. But he's, crossing onto the boat.
Yeah, he comes near my space.
He's invading your personal space, Lee.
Lee don't like no space invaders from the Sea Devils. So he's gonna try to repel the border.
Let's do it.
Jump on your spear.
AC 5.
What am I doing here? I'm pushing him?
Well,
with
I
a
don't know. What are you
grapple,
doing
or
here? Are you
I'm
trying
going-
to attack him or just hold him off the side of the ship, or what would Lee want to do?
Well, if he has to attempt to leave his feet or climb, if he has to climb up or any of that.
Yeah,
other
he's
stuff,
climbing
it
up. He's
matters.
climbing up the side of this railing, basically. He's a few feet below, and he's climbing up this railing. So you can see him right there on the other side of the railing, crawling.
Yeah, as soon as his head appears, I'm gonna swing my torch at him.
All right. If you want to use a spear, there are spears on the deck as well. Oh, although in this case, you may not want to break your spear. Yeah, go ahead and roll. I mean, it's up to you. You do have Astonishing Fortune left. You have one more left. Or you can roll a fumble on the table, and we'll see what happens.
My last 3 attack rolls in the last 3 games have all been 1s.
You're a 1 machine.
Yeah, I'm a one-track mind here. Roll 20. No, I mean, I guess I just fumble my torch into the water or something. I mean, I'll roll the fumble table.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. There's a chance it actually does something different. We'll see.
There you go. Exactly as you described.
Okay, so yeah, we'll actually. I'm gonna kind of pick which direction it moves in. So I'll do an 8-sided and figure out from you. So I'm going 1, 2. All right. So you dropped it towards Wennick, directly towards Wennick.
Good.
So that's where it falls on the map there.
What is it, like a 50% chance it goes out when the torch is dropped or something? What is it in this game?
That sounds like a reasonable amount. Let's see what it is. It stays lit. Stays lit.
Hmm.
All right, so I'll put it there, red for now. Oops.
Fire in the hole.
So the Sahagin that you swung at swings over the top rail at this point, and he starts to claw towards you. So he rolls to attack. Your AC of what are you?
I would have been 6.
6. So he would have needed a, yeah, he hits you. All right. So claw attacks though are not as bad. These are just 1d2s.
Not good.
So he does a damage to you. He rolls. He's gonna attack again at you with his other claw. He misses on that claw. So that's the first one. The next Sahagin that's on the front of the boat starts coming forward past that one that's been held there. This other one kind of starts crawling up, and he is going towards Winnick. So he steps through right past Valashar and starts going towards the captain and takes a swing at the captain. Misses with the first. Misses with the second badly. So next Sahagin starts putting out this fire, trying to help put out this fire. Looks like he's trying to remove the sail with another Sahagin. And at that time, you see from within their ship a couple other Sahagin emerge. So you see some more of them coming up from the back of their ship. And that brings up Winnick, who is now being attacked by this Sahagin. He pulls out his short sword that's at his hip and turns and swings towards the Sahagin and misses it in return. So he's now engaged in the melee as well, while he's trying to steer the ship with his other hand. And that goes then back to the top of the order, I guess. So,
Take my second shot.
oh yeah, go ahead, take your second shot, and then I'll roll my initiative for next round. It'll be a 4.
That still hit him?
Yep, he's still in the same relative position. Yep, that would hit him. That's perfect.
Oh, one
Yeah,
damage.
just 1 damage. Hey, it's all right though. You're sticking. He looks more like a floating porcupine at this point, or a blowfish, than he does a Sahagin. So
Are there any nets on deck?
there are nets on deck. Yes, there
I'm
are.
thinking we should probably pull him up in a net.
It's an interesting idea. Bart is up, or actually, group initiative. Sorry, who wants to go ahead and roll initiative? I've got a 4. Group initiative 6. So you guys are going on a 6. All right. So first is the Sahagin warrior. He is swimming back towards the shark that he fell from. He reaches up with one of his arms and grabs the fin of this shark. They start to kind of go forward a little bit. This direction. So they're almost like tracking on the side of your boat a little bit for a moment, and then they turn. Let's see. There we go. They start turning. These other sharks are still circling in the water. And that brings up Bart.
So Bart will shift positions and attempt to remove the spear from this other injured soldier over here.
Okay. Do a do another healing check and skill use there. Another success. You pull it out cleanly. Yeah, it does look like, again, it's got that tar on it. Um, and
might-
go ahead.
He might hold on to this one and look around at the warrior leaving now that he's kind of done what he can healing wise at this moment in time.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, again, the warriors kind of continue to fight on, because the wound itself was not that severe, but obviously there's some concern about the substance. Um, and if I think there is non-weapon proficiencies for identifying poison, we'll have to look in to see what they are. I think there is some things that allow you to do that. But at this point, anyway, you've removed it, so I'll take the red off of him. He's had that removed. Anything else you wanted to do?
Nope, just like I said, he's gonna look out at the warrior with the spear in hand and think about chucking it.
Okay. So then Valashar would be up. Valashar is gonna turn around. He's got this Sahagin above him on the steps trying to fight the captain, and who's standing right behind Lee. And Valashar turns and makes a touch attack. Looks like he's done another spell and reaches over and touches the Sahagin. And the Sahagin kind of like jumps as if it's been stabbed just from the touch of Valashar. So you definitely see some effect to where it looks like the Sahagin is wincing on half of its body where it's been touched, and I'll mark him as having this effect on him, so you'll see that. So Valshar's gone. Winnick is still now turning and slashing towards this thing that's trying to rip him off the wheel. He actually hits him with that. Yep. So he does some damage, and this guy is hurting. All right, their ship now is starting to kind of pull a little bit along with your ship again, to where it's like turning slightly, because your boat is turning forward a little bit, so it's more like this. And I'm going to move your boat forward a little bit. There we go. Oops. All right, that's more like it. Something like that. I think we've got the next are the Sahagin. So the Sahagin that just got attacked here, he starts to kind of turn and try to run backward, back over top of the railing, as another one's coming over the railing forward in this direction, and he's swinging at Lee with claw attacks. And he hits with one claw, he hits with two claws, so
That's not good.
so 3 damage total. And the next Sahagin kind of starts coming forward this direction. He does come back up over this same ledge where the other one's trying to escape, and he starts swinging towards Valashar, who he noticed had just attacked the other one, and he's able to actually knock Valashar with one of his claws and kind of get engaged with Valashar. So you see that unfolding here on the top of the deck, and that is then Kurza's turn.
I'm gonna shoot at the big guy again.
All right. Go ahead and he's AC4 now. He's back on the.
Yeah. Let's see if I can do better. Nope.
All right. You'll get another shot at the end, right? So.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll add a turn for you. All right. So then the purple dragons start to they step up and start to unload towards him as well. And again, another 4 of them are attacking. Oh, okay. All right. So 1, 2, 3. All right. The warrior is struck by multiple arrows as the purple dragons kind of start to get their aim lined up better, and you just see 1, 2, 3. These bolts hit this thing right again in the torso, in the rib cage area, and this time on the other side of it as it's turned around, and it slumps and falls over off of the back of the shark into the water and appears to be lifeless. So that is then the end of that round. At this point, it is back to group initiative. So whoever wants to roll group initiative.
Yeah, I got you with the 2.
Oh no.
There you go.
All right. Yep. Go ahead.
Hey, there's 2 of me in the order. What a deal.
Yeah, I had one for your second shot before.
Oh, okay.
But that's fine.
Oh,
Or,
man.
I'm sorry, you were a 9. There you go.
I'll take a second shot though. At one of the guys on the boat though.
Okay, I'll add one for you.
All right, here we go.
Oh, God. Roll 20 turnover. I hate you.
Oh, I did take a second shot, didn't I?
Oh yeah, you did. You did.
Okay.
But you'll get one the next turn as well. So
Yeah,
I'll
not a
add
problem.
I'll add a second and then make that a 19 so you
Okay.
remember. So Bart is up first. You get to act well before anyone else this round.
Yeah, so Bart will kind of make his way as quickly as possible across the ship to see if he can help Bayesian out with that the claw wound.
Okay. So yeah, you're able to make your way up there. Hold on.
And
1 second.
Sure.
All right, sorry. Another
Alright.
check.
That would
Pass.
be a healing check. Well, there you go.
It's better than nothing. So you get a little bit of treatment there, Lee, and you get a point back from your friendly neighborhood cleric. And it is actually your turn next. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I didn't get to go in that last round. So I'm gonna move back. I don't have a choice. I gotta fall back.
Okay.
And pull another torch out of my pack.
Okay. All right. So you step back and you're finding another torch. I would imagine at this point you've got them in reach, so you can pull one out fairly quickly and be ready to go. Valashar is turning again in this direction. At this point, he kind of grabs another one of these Sahagin and looks like he's cast a touch spell on it as well. So he's got this other Sahagin that he's doing a touch spell against. It is up to Winnick. Winnick is trying to concentrate on steering the ship and getting it clear of the now attached um, uh, Sahagin vessel. So he's just focusing on that, and that ship is just sort of caught now. The mast is caught on the back of your ship, so you guys are still connected. The Sahagin, let's see, this is first the that's the dead one. So he's gone. So it's Kurza's turn.
Grab myself a net from somewhere on deck. Move over here. And then try and use the net to pull up that dead body.
Okay. Yeah, you want to try to catch the body in it. I guess just do it like an attack roll against an AC 10 to see if you're able to get it
Okay.
to hit the body.
I'll use the short bow thing, so it has the non-weapon proficiency on it too,
Got it.
and kind of the same thing, but just named oddly, but
Oh no, it's a 1.
or not.
So we'll if you want to roll on the table, we can see if it fell or if something else crazy happened.
And why did that come out?
Oh, so this is actually saying that you've spilt your pack, like your pack somehow, as you were trying to throw the net, somehow your pack became dislodged and dropped off of you, spilling its contents along the deck.
Okay.
And so the net has now, we'll say, is hanging over the edge of the ship. So it's retrievable. It's not gone, fallen off the ship or anything, but your attack to hit him got caught on something and didn't make it over the edge.
Yeah.
So that brings up the Sahagin, who are, again, there's a few of them on the top of this ship who have looked like they're trying to cut loose this sail, and it seems like they've successfully kind of done that. But the sail starts kind of falling down towards the deck of their ship, and at that point they're trying to quickly get it over the edge. So there's several of them fumbling around with that, and as that is happening, there's some others that are still coming forward. These other ones that were touched by the touch spell too, they're not paralyzed. There's just this other one that was paralyzed on the deck of their ship, and he's still just standing there. So there's 3 of them basically here all around Valashar at this point. All right, so they are reaching over at this point and all kind of going after Valashar. He's the closest one, although Bart's pretty close. Let me see what they want to do. Valashar's catching them, so let's see what he gets. All right, so it looks like they're kind of doing they're grappling with him and grabbing Valashar, and as they're doing that, oops, they kind of one of them grabs a hold of Valashar, and the other 2 start grabbing a hold as well. So they're kind of like almost like wrapping him up, trying to stop his arms from moving and grab him, so because they realize he doesn't have any weapons. He's a caster, so they're just trying to like quickly grab him. And I'm rolling these here, and they're able to successfully grab his arms. So he's actually kind of being overwhelmed right now by a bunch of Sahagin arms and hands who are trying to almost tie him up. So it comes next to the purple dragons on deck. So the lead guard is going to step up here, and he is going to, at this point, unsheath and swing his longsword. He is actually... No, damn. He misses on that one. The other one that was already treated is going to come up and do the same thing. He's going to swing towards that first one. He misses as well. Let's see how many more can fit up here. Probably one more can get up here and make an attack. So 3 of them are going to come to the top of the steps. One of them hits and causes some serious wounds to this one. So the one closest to the top of the steps has taken 1 shot from the 3 guards, and then it brings up Kurza's second shot. Or, well, I guess you don't have a second shot. You were doing the net attack this round, so it wasn't the bow attack. Okay. So that brings us all the way back to the top of the order. So we'll go ahead and do another initiative roll. I'm going to roll an 8. All right. Good, good. Everybody good? So put this in order. First is Valashar. Valashar's going to be fighting with these guys. He's trying to get himself off of them, and he's not doing too well. He is trying to dislodge his arms, and he's having some failure doing so. So he's right now still kind of grabbed by these guys. So I'll put this on him for grabbed. Next is Winnick. Winnick, again, kind of notices this, and looks like he's just, trying to continue to steer the ship at the same time, just kind of guard his area. So he's got his sword out, but he's not stepping away from the wheel at the moment. Bart is up, though. You might be muted.
Sorry. Yeah, okay. I think I'll probably pull my quarterstaff out and take a swipe at the nearest Sahagan to me that's trying to mess with Valashar.
All right. Yeah, this one here is not affected by anything right now, so you definitely have one there on the edge.
Let's see. Yeah, first the. Why do I see a die to roll for attack with it? Strange.
Is it messed up on your sheet?
Yeah, let me try and reopen it here. I had it open in external tab.
Melee?
Oh, it is. There it is.
Oh, okay. Good roll.
What did we get?
Really good roll.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, you
Close.
smack them. You smack them solid.
And then we get damage. Oh, why can't I find this? There it is. Quarters.
And max damaged them.
Wow. Okay.
Excellent.
It's a good
So
time to pull it out, I guess.
yeah. So tell us about how you dispose of this Sahagan who's basically 1 foot over the rail and on your boat, because you just killed him.
He's trying to get back over the rail. Probably just he grabs his quarterstaff and probably it's strapped to his back somewhere and just swings it out with one quick crack to his knee that's he's trying to stand on yet. He's trying to get over the railing, and it might send him just toppling over the side.
Perfect. Yeah, so he falls lifeless, splashing down into the waters below. And you've just got, now it looks like there's 4 of them on the front who are 3 of them, excuse me, who are surrounding Valashar. So that brings up Lee.
Yeah, Lee's gonna move back in, stopping for a second. Not really though. dragging my torch over the lit torch that's laying on the deck and lighting it. And then I'll go ahead and swing at this sea double here.
Okay. AC 5.
Yeah. Might as well be AC 500. Hey, look at that. There you go. Woo!
Nice.
Who knew? So torch was 1d3, 1d6 when lit, right? What? I got it written down somewhere.
I don't even remember what we said. I think we said 1d3 plus 1 or something like that if it's lit, or I don't remember. If you wrote down something different, let me know. I just don't remember.
Well, I should have been looking this up, but I was more interested in what was happening in this the whole little scrap of folks.
Yeah, I would think it's like it's either it's probably a 2d4 would be fine for a lit club. Cuz I mean it's not really a club, it's a stick, but it is lit.
I know we wrote it down. Let's see if I wrote it down in my notes real quick.
Sure.
Couldn't have been that far back, right?
Probably
Lit
would have
torch.
been yeah.
Here's turning a lit torch. My turn. I should have had this stuff written down already. So sorry.
Sorry, man. But
I
if
know most games fire is 1d6, right? Most D&D like games.
yeah, but I mean this is the end of a torch, not like a a large
Flask of oil.
yeah. I feel like it's either a d6 plus 1 or a 2d4, whichever one you want to
Maybe I'm
roll.
looking in the wrong things. I was looking in story notes. So torch fighting for 1d3 unlit, 1d6 when lit.
Okay, there you go. I was gonna give you a better deal, but you didn't take it.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't
we'll
trying
we'll
to
honor your notes because I forgot what we had said on that. D4. So yeah, okay, you got a 1 on him with your torch. Okay, got it.
take that.
Yeah, I mean he doesn't like the fire. You definitely notice that he is focused on you and afraid of you because you're swinging a torch. So it's definitely
Yeah.
would be noticeable.
It does say fire damage if something is vulnerable to fire.
Yeah, he's not quite vulnerable to fire, but he's not a friend of it. So he's gonna take another point of damage from it just because you hit him, but he's not like caught on fire. So their ship is up. They've gone. They're kind of caught. So the Sahagin that are here now are kind of grappling with Valashar. At this point, they start pulling on him and tugging and trying to get him to fall to the ground. And as they do that, they the whole group of them fall backwards towards their ship. So Valashar. Oops. I don't know why I can't move them today. Here we go. It's this map. Valashar and these 3 Sahagin are all kind of grappled together, trying to wrestle, and as they're doing that, they fall backwards over top of that railing and back down onto the deck of the Sahagin ship. And they're all laying on the deck of the Sahagin ship right now, still trying to posture, and yeah, that brings up Kurza.
Let's take a couple of shots at those guys.
Go for it. Miss, and you get one more. If you want to take it now, you can.
Hey, I hit one of them.
There you go. Which ones you want? Anyone that's grabbing them?
Yeah, let's take the one on this side.
Okay. All right.
Uh,
Oh,
damage.
nicely done.
Nice.
So you actually drop him with 6 points of damage. So tell us where you shot him at and what happened to
Right in
him.
the back.
Right in the
And he
back.
just kind of like drops everything and rolls off the deck.
Yeah, so he just falls in a hump and rolls right off the edge and splashes down into the water with the rest of the corpses that are now probably floating about. That then is to the purple dragons, who are quite concerned by the sudden change of Valashar's positioning. So they start running and jumping over towards the ship um, to try to help Valashar. So the first one jumps across and starts swinging at the other two who are holding on to him to see if he can get him to let go. He's not able to hit him. The other one's grabbing Valashar and trying to pull and give him an advantage to disarm himself so that he'll get a bonus on his next round to free himself. And that's the end of that turn. So go ahead and do initiative one more time here. Don't know which round we're in exactly, but I got an 8 for mine.
Mine was a 2, just above yours.
Oh, got it. Cool. So that means they can go earlier. 2. All right. Sorting it out. Winnick is continuing to steer you guys, and pull the ship. He's got his sword up and he's looking over this corner of his eye, but he is not engaged in the battle. Valashar is now on the deck. He is trying to free himself. He's got a plus to this roll. He's got one of the purple knights trying to help him get freed. Oh, all right. He's able to free himself from the one, but the other one is still latched onto him, so he's still engaged in one grapple, but he's got half of it dismantled. So it brings us to Bart. Actually, you should have gone first, probably.
I've been slow to update it, but I think Bart is just gonna move over and grab the lit torch on the deck of the ship. At least get that off the deck for now, and
Yep.
That's probably what he's gonna stand there next to Bayesian for a bit.
Okay. Yep. I deleted that off there, so we'll say you're holding that torch. And Lee, you're up.
Well, I wanted that other torch.
I mean,
Well, he picked it up for you, so
How is the footing
if
to
I
get
could-
over onto this other ship?
you just have to go over the rail and kind of fall down about 10 feet onto their surface at their deck is about 10 feet lower. So if you want to do a dexterity check to see if you're able to, jump the rail, or depending on what you want to do, we can make a check.
No. I will just stay there, and if the fight starts coming back this way, try to repel the borders again.
Okay, no problem. So these others are now starting to file towards the boat. These other purple dragons are moving in that direction. So they're all heading that way. A couple of them are going to be taking attacks right now. Ooh, and one of them kills this one. So
I'll just get out of the purple dragon's way.
they're filing towards that direction, kind of right over you. So they are just continuing to do so. And at that point, the Sahagin are, scrambling around. The fire that was on their deck is now laying on the deck in a big ball. The sail is burning up, and you start to feel some movement in the water, to where it feels like the boat is rocking a little bit more than it was a moment ago. And sort of as you're noticing this movement and this rocking all of a sudden, and you're looking around, you see from the surface of the water what appears to be a gigantic claw, that emerges from the water, and it reaches up from underneath the water and comes down on the side of the Sahagin ship and hits it almost where the fire was at, almost in that center section, breaking part of the mast and breaking part of the side of the ship as it comes down, and turning and capsizing the ship. So it was sudden and swift, and suddenly at this point, when you look over the edge, you see bodies, kind of strewn about in the water from earlier, but you now see this ship on its side as it was just crushed, from this near side, by this giant claw that's now gone up and down and back into the water. And it's violent and quick and sudden, and so you guys are sort of left with that as you're standing and staring over the edge. At this point, all of the people who are off of the ship from this point down are in the water. So I'm just separating them on the map so I can put folks in the water. The fire is out, and their ship is capsized, so we will just kind of note it like with this. That doesn't work. We'll just know it's capsized. So yeah, you guys look over and see suddenly that the Sahagan's ship has been turned completely on its side, and everybody who was in the water is floating in the water. So that brings up, I think, Kurza, you still have a turn.
I'm going to pick up all my stuff off the deck.
All right, you gather all your belongings that had fallen out of your bag earlier, and you get them all back, gathered together. Let's see. We'll just kind of keep the existing turn order, because I think at this point you'll kind of have to deal with it. You're almost out of turns in a sense, but you could do something. So we'll kind of just keep the existing turn order for now and start with Bart.
I'm gonna look around and see if there's any rope or anything that could be used to toss over the side to try and
Definitely.
aid.
Definitely.
Yes, I
Yeah.
bet Bart
Yep.
will grab some rope and kind of try and step up and toss it to the closest purple dragon in the water out there.
Okay. Sure. So I would say that, it's either this one here, Valashar's here, and another purple dragon's
Oh,
here.
I suppose he'd probably throw it down to Valashar. He's probably closest there, I think.
Okay. So if you just want to do you have rope use by any chance as a
No.
non-weapon proficiency? Um,
Nope.
then I would say that it would sort of be like doing an attack on an AC 10 in this sense, just trying to get the rope close to him, right? Because you're just trying to throw the rope to where he could grab it. So.
So just a D20 roll, I
Mhm.
think. Oof.
I think here at
That's
Thako's
only
19, right? So that would be what you needed to kind of
oh,
get it in his area. Yeah. So that's
I
exactly what you needed to kind
didn't.
of get it at least within reach. So you kind of do get it down there, towards him, and it splashes in the water beside him. And we'll see what he does here in a second. First is Lee, though. You get to act next.
I think Lee's just in shock from what just happened.
And she maybe screams, "There's a giant claw coming from the water.
So I think
We're all gonna die!" Ah!
do you have nature as a non-weapon proficiency or anything to that extent?
Religion, local history, and artistic ability.
So do a local history check, please.
Yep.
Okay. So being a druid and having some local history and having now seen the claw that came up above the water, um, you are you are suspecting potentially that you're in the midst of a um, dragon turtle.
That honestly doesn't make things any better, DM Jamie. But
No,
thanks for
no,
clarifying how
it
I'm gonna
doesn't.
die.
It doesn't make it any better at
In
all.
episode 10,
Right. We made it to double digits at least.
we did.
So, next is let's see, Cursor, anything you wanted to do?
To get the F out of Dodge.
Right, right. So,
Um,
you know, basically you guys at this point will have to make a decision about where you want to focus your time and energy. You've got these purple dragons who are now in the water in metal armor surrounded by sharks and who were just thrashed by a dragon turtle as far as you know or don't know, but they are in rough shape now. They're in a bad dire situation. So what I would say is that we've got about a turn here for you guys to focus on what you want to do, um, as far as if who you're gonna save or what you're gonna try to do in this particular circumstance before there will be some other consequences possibly that happen just from the fact that they are submerged. So
let's try throwing a fishing net about out here. While it may not actually catch all three of them, it may give them something to latch onto, and then we can just kind of hopefully haul them in.
all right, so you can go ahead and if you want to do a if you want to throw it together, I'll let you guys roll 2d20 and take the better of the roll, or if you're just doing this as a single action, it would just be a single roll.
Who else is there to
So,
help
and
me other than the one of the dragon?
yeah, I mean, I guess if you want to convince one of the dragons to help you,
Yeah, let's do that.
okay.
What do I need to do?
So you need to roll 2d20 and take the highest
Okay.
result, and you need to hit AC 10 to get it near your target. And yeah, we're gonna call it here in just 2 minutes, guys. So, all right, yeah. So you're able to get it out there to where you feel like it's as close as can be to these purple dragons that are in the water here. So you've done your part to give them a chance to try to grab it. That'll bring up.
And this other purple dragon will try and, pull the net back in once they find something to hang on to.
Yeah, got it. Bart, anything you wanted to do this turn?
Just
You've got the rope.
looking to try and secure the rope, like wrap it around my waist, maybe turn around.
Okay.
Something a layman with a rope might try and do because he doesn't know how to tie knots or anything.
Yeah, but you're pulling them. You're trying to pull Valashar, who is now grabbed the rope. So we'll say he's getting closer to the boat. Excuse me. Sorry, I couldn't mute quick enough. Okay. Anything else you want to do?
Nope, just focusing on that and maybe glancing back at Winnick to see if he's making any dire facial expressions.
Yeah. Well, he's definitely got a look on his face. So basically, the scene sort of at this point is chaotic. There's a lot of sharks in the water. literally, and I'm gonna switch the map real quick to give you guys a different perspective of what it is that just happened. So this, if you zoom out of this map, gives you a little bit of better viewpoint of what the island was that emerged from the water and took out the Sahagin ship. So this is where we'll pick up next round, or next session, I should say, to see if the turtle is going to continue his attacks, or if you're able to save any of the floaters in the water. If Valashar is able to be saved, we're going to determine all of that in the next session. So we'll leave it parked right
Great.
here. All right. And
Awesome.
Thanks, Team Jamie. That was
yeah,
great.
thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank you all. I appreciate it. It was fun.
Cool, yeah.
I'm glad we got to this point, and
Yeah,
it could have been
thanks.
worse. It could have been worse. I think you guys did, in some ways, minimize the damage, and then hopefully maybe next session you can even backtrack some of it as well. We'll see, but should be fun. Thanks, guys, for being here, and I'll post the XP, and we'll see where we're at. But it was a good session. All right.
I will see you
Thanks.
next time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for staying up late. See you guys.
Good night.